Citizens forum. Anybody? Then we'll go into reports, board committees. Anybody meet?
I got a forestry report.
Okay.
What did we do? We met on the 9th. Again, a fairly casual meeting, although we did approve agendas and take votes. Other than that, more or less discussion topics. On October 14th, for public knowledge, we're doing a walk the woods before things get too, the spring is always a wet one. We try to postpone it. We've got actually decent conditions for it. So at 4 p.m. on the 14th, we are going to walk, not the whole trail system, but maybe a half mile of it. And we're being encouraged by that whole committee and the forestry to bring somebody who would not normally be there, like bring a friend, bring somebody who might be interested, somebody who uses it in the winter but not the summer, but put that down. And it's more a question of just to see what's been done, but also to, we need suggestions as to what that school forest needs, because some of our grant discussion, there are some grants available out there, not monstrous amounts of money, but if there are some needs that you can identify in that forest that we're overlooking, let us know and we'll go ahead and get those. And those grants will be needed to be addressed by mid-October, so no later than the 14th of October, if you guys have ideas about that or know people who have ideas. Other than that, there were discussions about the skis, discussions about possible funding projects with our school forests, 3 school forests out there. That hasn't been pursued a lot yet. In a discussion, I think just for the good feel, you had you ran a mushroom event down in the Boy Scout camp, which went pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's getting use and getting practical use. And continues to be a really good, Jerem, if you can get on the school forest committee, recommend it, okay? I'll leave it at that, unless somebody got a question. Okay.
Any other board committees?
Health and safety met last week. That's right. Talked about playground equipment. I was a couple minutes late. I don't know if anything else was discussed before that. A lot of it was the playground. Yeah.
Playground, like you got to put new stuff in.
Yeah,
there's certain cracks and stuff.
Yeah, or bolts need to be tightened and just things that they found.
General maintenance.
Yeah.
There's plenty of everything that was identified.
We walked through that with Dale that one when we had the tour there, but. And you said that you have people on staff, maybe it's you, who are certified to address that for the most part?
No, we used the Brian from Northwest Service Co-op
And
to
he
do
was-
the inspection.
And he was at the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's licensed by the National Parks and Recs, I think it is, that does.
Yeah. And that was the most of the discussion, was a review of that, but I can't remember if there was anything else.
No.
I think that was it. With, they had photos and examples of, things broken or cracked plastic or.
Do we have to do anything with the material? They're not wood chips anymore. What the heck are they? Maybe they are wood chips.
Yeah.
Can we still use wood chips, or are those?
That's actually, I think, the one that's got the highest fall protection.
I thought they were going away from wood chips because.
They want everybody to go to a rubber service,
Uh-huh.
but it'd be like $20 million out there.
Figures.
So wood chips it is.
Brought to you by the.
And I don't think we're good right now as far as the depth and stuff.
Yeah,
they were
next year
replaced.
we're gonna need to get a truckload in there, because they wind up in pockets and everything else and disappear over time.
Good.
It is a spongier. Why was I okay? I don't
Wood
remember.
chips, I
We
think,
did
can go
the
up to 16
Oh,
feet.
yeah.
And the rubberized surface that they like to sell, or AstroTurf, I think you're looking at 12 or 14 feet from your maximum height to fall.
Okay.
But then, yeah, gets froze solid for a good 8 months out of the year, so really what does it accomplish?
I think the rubber would be solid too, so whatever. Okay. Anything else for the safety committee?
I don't think so.
Then, any other board committees? We'll go with that set then. And that puts us right into the superintendent's report.
Okay. I'll be a little long-winded because Sheena's not here tonight, so I'm going to talk about the finance and food service. Jackie and Jill are not here tonight, so I'll be talking about milk prices as well. So
Be the
bear with me.
Jeff Nelson show.
Yeah, just what I like. Yeah. Okay. As far as the agenda, you should have a updated one on the table in front of you. We moved a few things around. Item J is approval of a memorandum of understanding between Lakewood School and Northwest Community Action. It's just a formality, but we thought we would put that at the bottom after we changed the milk rate, because that's within that memorandum. Other than that, I don't think there's any other changes or additions that are in front of you. Enrollment for the month of September, we're at 431 students. That's for K-12. This is up 6 students compared to the end of the 23-24 school year. K-5, we're at 198 students. That's up 3 from last year. And 6 through 12 is up 3 as well, up to 233. September is Minnesota School Board Recognition Month. Hopefully you got to see the ad in the paper. I gave a blurb this morning in the radio. I'd like to extend my appreciation to our 4 existing school board members for your service, as well as Lynn and Carla, who spent a number of years on the school board. You know more than I do what commitment it takes to serve on the school board, especially when we're looking at some financial situations and running some referendums. So your commitment does not go unnoticed. Action items on the agenda. Review and comment. Came back from the commissioner, and that's one of the written communications. I did put a write-up in the board packet. It has been posted in the Northern Light. I think it was the September 11th edition. So tonight, as part of our meeting, we just need to recognize that that's been posted. We can summarize the commissioner's letters, or the commissioner's letter, and the projects proposed to be funded, and the board chair should ask for any questions from the public. Those are kind of the requirements for the review and comment portion. Staffing was also updated in your board packet with some hires. One thing of note, Chris Berthume, you'll see that we're going to hire her, and then we're going to accept her resignation all in one motion pretty much. So she did take the position back in August, and she's taken another position, and it's with it's as a child therapeutic service and support person, and that's housed in the school district. So she'll still be working with some of the kids she's been working with. It was a good move for her. She's very happy to be in that position and still be in the school, and we're happy for her as well. And I believe we do have a replacement that I won't steal Mary's thunder, but we do have someone that will be starting in the coming weeks, so that positions will be filled as well.
Who does Chris answer to in her new job?
She's working under DESA. I want to say,
Northland Council.
from Northland Counseling. I want to say DESA Brunette, but that's an old name for her.
Bergen.
Bergen, yes. So, SMS contract, renewal, 3 renewals in your board packet. I did bring this up last month at the working session. I don't know if there's any questions on that proposal. But my recommendation is that we accept it as negotiated. It's a 3-year contract, but there is the stipulation that 60-day notice termination is in there. So if after January with when the new board takes place, if they want to do something different, that decision can be made at that time. School board member appointment is tonight. It's in one of our items. So tonight will be the formal motion, second, and approval of the appointment. There's a 30-day public input window, and then at the October 28th meeting is when the oath of office and the start of the term will occur. And we do have Jerem in the attendance tonight as well. And then levy certification is in the board packet as well. Our total levy that will be certifying, and this is preliminary, so we want to approve the 1.9 million or maximum allowed in the motion. And then the final levy approval will occur in December, and that will be on the specific dollar amounts after we run through the levy certification process. Any questions on that? Referendum update. The first mailing should be hitting mailboxes this week. I'm hopeful that it'll happen by the end of this week. We'll be working on some newspaper articles to come out. We'll be doing some social media information campaign. I've scheduled presentations tomorrow. I will be at the county board meeting at 9:45. And then on Thursday, September 26th, I'll be at the city Badette meeting. And then October 14th, I'll be in Williams. And any of you folks are welcome to join me in those presentations. I'm also working on maybe doing something at the Brink Center, the Williams Senior Center. And I want to bring up any thoughts from the board as far as some formal public forums or anything that you would want to hold here at the school over the next couple weeks. Kind of like what we did with the listening sessions, but geared specifically towards referendum, and we could have information. I don't know if we want to set a time for a formal PowerPoint presentation, or we just leave it as a window of opportunity for the community to come in and ask questions. Any thoughts on that?
I was disappointed at the open house, although it was a different night, a lot of people bringing kids in, but nobody really wanted to converse on it. I'm curious if you have a way of, how we're presenting them with the
mailer?
No, what's the word?
QR code?
QR code.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any way of tracking that? To see if people are actually accessing it?
We should.
Your website should.
Yeah.
It's a fairly specific QR code, so I would think that people who are looking for information, like if they're actually looking to get
Yeah,
information.
if you have like Google Analytics set up, which I would think Katie will, she does the website.
Yeah,
Good idea.
at least if they're looking.
There was that question too today, that came up with the mailing. Boyd, you would know, is that going to homesteads or homesteaded properties, or is it going to everybody in that?
Yeah, just homesteads.
Okay, so it would be not,
It would just
Seasonal,
be
not for the
school
rest.
district residents
yeah,
People who are voting.
would be getting the mailings.
Okay.
So if they live in Roseau County and own property here, they would
Yeah.
not.
yeah, because that
Get-
was the question on
yep.
the Zoom.
But there still are registered voters, aren't there, that,
In Rosa.
No, not if
No.
it's been used.
no, but in our community who don't own a property. I mean, there are people who are renting.
Yeah.
Well, there probably are some, but I mean,
They're gonna fall through the cracks, or is
you
that,
can tell me how to get their addresses.
I don't know. Throw that out there, so.
That's the problem, is we went with what we could get.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'm just trying to think of ways of getting everybody at least into the discussion.
I forget what the number was. I did find out there are, it's right around 13, between 12 and 1,300 households in our school district. There's a chunk over by Roosevelt that is not in our school district. So approximately that many homes.
Are there conferences, or I should know that? Are there conferences coming up?
Roosevelt.
where we-
They're usually in November.
That's in November.
Yeah.
Don't think so, because, I don't know.
I think the more we get out, even if people don't show up, I think it's
Yep.
positive, you know, you gotta, if you don't make an effort, you don't get any results. So, I think we do need to do stuff, but it's always nice to piggyback events that are existing, so you're not asking people to come and do another thing, you know.
What are your thoughts, though? It's like sitting in this room for an hour or two, which I'm more than happy to do.
Yeah, I don't know if people will show up, but similar to open house, if you don't try it, you don't know. And you can't, I know, get accused of don't try, you know, like,
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to know when there's
yeah.
seriously nobody here.
Yeah, I know. But if there was a way we could piggyback another event that was happening, just to kind of guarantee some audience.
Walk the woods on the 14th. We got a busy 14th. You're over in Williams on the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I wonder if a power, not necessarily, may not have to be a PowerPoint, but I'm just thinking something along the lines of the Channel 3, where we just have information scrolling through, like during a game like this in the cafeteria.
Cafeteria.
There's going to be a number of people who are bored out of their minds or aren't watching or something, and they could just have it playing. I mean,
Kind of like what we did during the open house. I think
Yeah.
we had stuff scrolling on there.
and we have access to the billboard out front. I mean, I've talked to the board about that over the arena board. Technically, it's private, so it can be slanted. I mean, it could be like, vote for this, but I'm not sure, since it's presented as a school, we really want to do that, but at least make something aware out there.
yes.
Our focus here is to get the information out. So as a school board and administration is making sure everyone knows what the questions are, why we're asking for it. And so
there
we,
are
you know, so if you want me to get something on the bulletin board, it'd have to be that to effect. Now, if there's other things that we want to accomplish, that would have to be an outside.
I think just making it simple so that when they see it in the ballot, they understand it.
Because the capital project question is
It's
quite
like
lengthy.
printed, it's like this long.
It is.
You know, in little print, so.
And trust me, I went back and forth with legal, and this, what's in there needs to be in there. And so that was quite the process.
Flyers, do we have those?
Those, we have them out, informational flyers are sitting out there with the programs tonight. We're gonna try to get some poster board with the information on it as well.
So if you would want some free monitors that we have out there, even just nights of volleyball games, we take everything else we have off and we could just have Tracy make it so it would be just
Yeah.
repeated about that and go through.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, we could do
That'd be
that.
great.
Yep.
And next week, with homecoming, we have 2 home volleyball games.
I think that's
So,
a good idea.
Yep. And then during the school day, that goes off, and then the normal student announcements would be on there, so. Okay,
Do you think we should do it?
do we want to put a date out for school board open forum?
I'm okay with it. I mean, if we fail, we fail, or when I say fail, if nobody shows, it's, what are you gonna do? But
Right.
Do you have a specific date?
I'll wait until we see what people. Do we want to get closer to the election, or do you want to get
Well, ballots are going out
Yes.
like,
next week?
I think they've already.
Soon, Liz thought,
yeah, like next week.
yeah.
That they'd be available at 5. They're not here yet, but they're.
So with the mailer hopefully getting to homes this week, we're looking at another mailer, more of a short postcard, to go to the printer the first week in October. Hopefully that'll be hit the mailboxes first or second week in October. So maybe the second week of October would be one time. And do we want to do like a Wednesday evening to avoid athletic events, or do we want to pick a game night, a home game night, or I don't know.
Best chance it might actually be during a game.
Or right
Okay.
before it or something like that.
Or we could like bridge the JV varsity, or whatever games are going, maybe bridge the two so that,
Like being there for the last half of the JV and the first half of the varsity kind of thing?
yeah, something like that.
And if no one shows up, we can go watch the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Good
okay.
plan.
I'm pulling up the schedule. I'm not sure what
Next Tuesday's our last home game.
Wow.
next Tuesday.
Well, that narrows it down.
That'd be October 1st.
Next Tuesday it is.
Yeah, I'm okay with giving that a try.
Okay.
Can we make an announcement before the games or whatever? Just say, anybody curious?
We can, yeah.
Yeah. We have
There-
the power, we got the
Anyone-
microphone.
Intermission, grab your sandwich.
Yeah. So, public forum.
Yeah, free popcorn.
And what I will do is,
Actually, you're not
And
around.
we'll have to post.
yeah, we'll advertise it, post it.
That'd be good on the television screen, your chance to talk to the school board.
Yeah.
That would be a-
You mean on
Because we see the television, I take Marlos over to the clinic and then the screen's always scrolling.
Channel 3.
Channel
Yeah,
3.
Yep.
You know, your chance to talk to the school board.
That thing still works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I got going again.
Probably better not to.
But that would get the people. I can put it in the paper, but it's gonna be after the event,
Yeah,
Yes, it will.
you know?
Okay.
or on the Facebook site or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Your chance to talk to the school board.
So
I
what,
love that part of it.
so what time do we want to?
6?
Yeah, traditionally the volleyball game starts at 7, like the varsity.
6 to 7?
6 to 7, or?
Yeah, so we go from
And then
6 to
finish it.
7, stuff like that.
How long,
Yeah.
like would do we have a C team? We have a C
Yep.
team.
Yeah, Gail's
How long
coaching.
do the game, how long
They
does
start at
a
like
JV
5?
game last?
About an
Is it
hour.
Yeah, because JV
Yeah.
started when we started this meeting,
Well, should we,
or like when you showed up.
yeah. And what time does varsity starts at 7?
7:15.
15, but like Jared said, they've been played all season so
Okay,
far.
It's usually about 10 to 15 minutes later.
All right, so we could go from like 6 to 7.
Yeah.
in
And
there,
then if we're
give it
later-
an hour, and
Yeah, and
And
if,
it's fine. If for
People
people
are-
who want to get to the varsity game, they
Yeah.
can still do that.
yeah, I make it a point to be here.
Okay.
Next Tuesday.
can
And
we
I-
have 3, well, now, actually, that brings up Britton's or Robin, we had the question.
If we advertise it as a public forum and we advertise it,
Then
We're
good.
not taking any,
we're not taking any action.
We don't have to do that
We
for
don't-
3 weeks before or anything crazy like that,
It's 3 days.
3 days.
Oh, just for open meeting law, yeah.
Yes, it's only 3 days.
And
And
again,
you
I
have to
think that
make
if
it-
there's no action item, I don't
Yeah.
You
know
don't have to
that
have it in the
there's a,
paper,
that prerequisite either. Yeah,
as long as you attempt.
I mean, we could do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll get it posted tomorrow and we'll put it on Facebook and I'll send something to the newspaper, right? No, it won't make it.
Yeah, it'll be after.
God, we're at the end of September already. Okay.
Can
Well, I can still.
That's not an issue, as long as it's posted.
you push it through Team Reach?
Yeah, we can ask coaches too. Yeah,
That would go to tons of parents.
we can put it, we can put it on our school messenger.
Are you making a list, Mary? I don't know how to do that. I can't volunteer.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot to remember.
Yeah. And I can call KQ 92 and see if they'll throw a little blurb on the radio too. And we'll see what kind of turnout we get. And I can, maybe we can, do we want to offer to have people bring in their tax papers if they want to go on the computer and see what the tax impact is? I know some schools have done that for these forums.
I'll bring their property tax statements.
Yeah. And then they can go in and,
Gives them something tangible to do.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
so I'll see if that works on, how well that works with our Chromebooks and
Yeah.
we can add that as, if they want to bring that in then. Because there might be, the only problem is with that is if there's ag property owners, that might be more of a scheduled meeting with someone from Ellers, because that's a lot more complicated in looking at ag properties and.
Don't some of those sheets say what class it is
Mhm.
and the value and how much
Yeah.
if it's this much of a house or this much of a house, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even if we just had those to give an approximate or something,
Oh, the classification sheets. Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Tim, what about the sign that's surrender, not sign out on the road? If we wanted to get it on that, who do we talk to?
Sam, Mike, Scholes, and Keith Block are the three who have access to that. And they've all, I've talked to all three and they've all said, yeah, just let us know what you want to put on
Okay,
that.
because that would be a good one too.
Yep. I'll take care of that. I'll talk to Jeff though and see what you think about, unless you guys have an idea what you want to put there, but pretty much, like Lee said, meet the, you know, get questions answered from the school board about your tax implications or something.
Wait, on Monday, Tuesday.
Tuesday at 6.
And if it goes well, we can schedule another one. If not, we can
Yeah.
revisit it at that time.
And you'll be here, right?
Yes, it's 6 o'clock, so I'm not, if I have to sub on the bus route.
First, right, we're talking the first, right, still?
October 1st.
Thinking about the questions that might come up
Yes.
and going,
No.
yeah.
Tuesday.
But we have a lot of resources too, so we can, yeah, if we have our computers here, we can even pull up.
No.
past
I
reports
mean,
and
it'd be
stuff.
nice if all four, but I'm not sure that's apparent either. Just, I can't believe we're gonna get a huge turnout.
No, I don't imagine.
Okay. Any other questions regarding the referendum effort? Buildings and grounds, I'd like to confirm that we can meet Monday, September 30th at 5:30. Because I've done a couple outside and indoor walkthroughs with Dale and Kyle, so we have some information on some of our facility needs. Also do an update on summer and back to school projects. And also we're looking at a part-time custodial need, about a 4-hour position, that I'd like to present to the committee first. And possible cost-saving ideas for some of our snow removal and groundskeeping that would be tied to that position.
Do you have a total, when you look at cost savings for snow removal, like the first year we brought them on with the contract? How much
Yep.
they were paid
Yep.
versus, and then last year?
Last year's not a good year. though.
I know.
It's kind of like this, without going too far down in the weeds. Some of those duties that we're paying $50 an hour might be better spent having one of our staff do it at a lower rate, like the daily checks and some of the sidewalk salting and stuff like that. So I'd like to revisit that and look at, and I need to talk to the people that were contracted too, so, but I think there might be some cost savings possibly.
The forecast is for a heavier snow winter, I think.
Yeah.
So, we'll make
So
up
we'll
for,
look at-
we'll make
was
up
it
for what we didn't spend last.
2 years ago was that 2 years ago was the rough winter?
Every other day they were here.
When I'm out in the parking lot pushing snow, then
Yeah.
we know we're in trouble,
So
so.
it's Boyd is on buildings and ground?
Yep.
Who else, anybody else?
I am.
Boyd, Tim, and aren't you now?
No.
Not you?
Yeah, it was Lynn.
Just the two of you?
Oh.
Okay.
Yep. I didn't know if we replaced her or not.
Yep.
That'll probably have to go to the 1st of January.
So we'll plan on that on September 30th,
What time?
5:30. And I'm setting some of these meetings a little bit later because if I end up subbing for a bus route, I don't get back till after 5 on a lot of those routes, so. Any questions on that? So I am done with the stuff on my list. Now I'm going to move into Sheena's report. And you have it before you. I'm looking at her write-up right now.
Yep.
Year to date, revenues, total funds, 650,800. Grants for 24-25, Title 401, or Title 1 actually, is 90,000. Expenditures to date is $712,985. Summary all funds, 650,800 revenue, expenditures 712,985. Spending variance or deficit is at 62,185.
That's just year to date.
That's
not
just
like the
year to
forecast
date.
Year to date.
And always we have this deficit at the beginning of the year because we're doing purchase orders and stuff like that, and we're anticipating revenue coming in the coming months. So that's normal.
Okay, yep, I see it there.
So fiscal year 2024, and this is last fiscal year, expenditures, 9,265,000. I'm just gonna round it up a little bit. Expenditures, revenues, 9,128,000. So our unaudited deficit is $136,658. We projected a deficit when we redid our budget to $77,252. So the variance right now is $59,406. In a $9 million budget, that's pretty close on target. We did receive our $50,000 insurance claim. And we're looking at moving, this possibly could be moved into last fiscal year, so that we would end up, our variance would be $9,400, which is pretty much right on pace, so. But that is something that Sheena will work with the auditors to determine if that will happen.
Where would the other options be for putting that 50,000? It seems to make sense.
Or the current fiscal year,
Oh,
but it occurred I think
Well, it
it
applies more
makes
to-
sense to
Yeah, a year or two ago.
put it last
Yeah.
year, yeah. So our budget technically coming in is pretty close on what we had projected. Variance in the budget is listed below. I'm not going to go through all of those. You can see that we have some consulting fees for referendum planning.
Is that the sum total of the consulting fees? I mean, kind of pointing at the referendum planning?
Through June 30th. So we'll still incur,
This is just the 2024.
yes. So we still are working with the Donovan Group. I think we just, in the current fiscal year.
But these aren't legal fees? I mean, this isn't...
No, this is some of the WIDSEF stuff. There's some fees from Ellers, fees from Donovan Group, mailing cost, and some of those other things. Salaries for bus drivers is $22,000. Most of this is from overtime last year. We've added some subs, so we might not have to rely on some people as much. So I feel fairly confident that our bus salary is in line with the budget for this fiscal year. What else? Our brick cost has been kind of trending up, especially with the psychologist bill. But Sheena was saying that the other schools that she works with, that's kind of happening across the board with some of the brick services that we get.
And there's no way of tightening that up because you need everything that you're getting
Yep,
from them.
it's a contracted service, and yep.
So the cost is just to additional services?
Yep. So they're coming here to provide services more often is what that is. So for different assessments.
So they are on site?
Yes, a lot of the stuff that they do is on site. So, any questions on any of those? Student activity balance report is in the packet. The thick document, she's put a code in there so you can know what's yellow, green as far as the variances.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Yeah. A couple final notes. Brady Marts will complete the district's audit remotely September 30th and October 1st. They will be on site near the end of October to go over the financial audit. So we're hoping the audit won't be done at our October board meeting, I don't anticipate, but we might have some preliminary numbers on where the audit is sitting. So the audit is going 1,000 times better this year. Gina's very happy with the process from Brady Marts.
Well, it sounds like she has her information request, well in advance of what she
Yep,
had last
and how she's got access to the portal, and it's going very smoothly this year, so.
which is how it's supposed to go.
Yes, we've gone away from the norm the last couple of times, but, and then she just notes that the levy certification, has been completed. The preliminary certification will be done tonight, and then we'll submit that to MDE tomorrow. Any questions on any of that? And then I have food service report. And Jill put information in your board packet as far as the need to increase our milk, what we charge for milk, increasing it from 35 cents to 40 cents. Because right now with the milk prices, we're actually losing money. So that will be a board action tonight, is to raise our milk prices to 40 cents. Any questions on that? And the final thing I have is just some board committee meetings, buildings and grounds we just talked about, September 30th at 5:30. Policy committee, I would like to set that for Wednesday. I have the wrong date, it can't be September 9th.
October 9th.
October 9th, thank you, my gosh. October 9th at 4 p.m. in the ITV room. And I talked to Sheena, and we'd like to have the finance committee on our school board Monday night, so October 28th at 5 p.m. And then we'll follow with the working session and regular board meeting if everyone's okay with that.
Yep.
That's all I have.
And you're subbing in the bus, I heard you say that. Is that a regular situation now, or are you just getting called in on a daily basis?
Well, I'll let you know. I'm
mean, did you-
running a route tomorrow. So the way that John does that is, for subs, he tries to get every route with one or two people that can sub, that can learn that route. And especially being new to bus driving, he doesn't want to overwhelm me with just throwing me on a route. So there is a route that I'm assigned to that I've been working to learn the kids and stuff, so. But he's riding with me tomorrow just to make sure I don't forget anyone, so we'll let you know how that goes.
So you got, tomorrow morning, you got a bus route?
Nope, tomorrow is just the evening route.
Oh, okay, so tomorrow morning, you're going to the county board meeting
Yep.
at 9:45.
Yep.
I might be able to make that,
Yep.
I'm waiting on something out at work, but you're okay with me tagging along?
Yep, I will actually be there at 9:30. I'm on the opioid advisory committee, and they're presenting at 9:30, and I think I'm slated to start at 10 o'clock, so.
At 10 o'clock for the school?
At 10 o'clock,
Referendum,
yep.
okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
If you're planning on going, you warn that they can, their times can shift rather wildly.
Yeah,
one way or
I was,
another.
remember last spring, I was in there for a number of things.
I want to present the school board with a thank you from our student council on behalf of all of our students.
Your work and time and dedication is greatly appreciated.
Hope they sell suckers.
I knew that was on the list, but I didn't want to say anything in case we forgot.
Nice.
Our school year started out with a K-12 assembly in the auditorium. It was wonderful to see all the students and staff in there, and for the staff to introduce themselves so across the board everybody could see who their adult go-to people can be for support. And then on September 13th, we had an assembly which was sponsored by the Hunter J. Nordloff Be Kind Foundation, and Sam Eaton was the presenter. Very well received by the students, lots of positive comments, so it's really a good, beneficial relationship, I'm going to call it, that we're building with the foundation. So just very supportive to have another go-to and support for our kids. And to me, one of the best takeaways about the assembly was the kids saying they explain definitions of things. So when we're talking about depression, you can really understand what the meaning behind that is, and to realize, yeah, there's no quick fixes, and that's okay, but you have these supports and we can help give you the tools you need to help deal with things. And then a big chunk of my report is homecoming next week and the different activities. I have a wonderful crew of student council. It's nice when I can now sit up here and our 4 officers are at the main table with our crew and just planning it all, and every once in a while just need some yes, no's, or suggestions by me. So really a good go-get-em crew that we have. And they're trying a couple new things, and one thing that they came up with that they see we really need is a cheer lesson. So our first day, they are going to learn some cheers, so then at the volleyball games next week, they can be doing some different cheers, mix it up with some positive things that we'll be saying out there. And then on the last day, on Friday, when we have everybody in the gym for the grand finale, we're going to call it, we have a great crew of teachers that are going to be on a dodgeball team, both elementary and high school, and then they're doing a in the gym scavenger hunt, where whatever they have to find, it'll be something in the gym, and it might be different things about different people in there. So I'm really pleased with how they're really getting everybody involved in the activities we're doing. And we're bringing a new program in. It's called Toward Zero Deaths. And the Northwest group last spring came and approached me and asked if they could bring it into our school. And it's, 11 counties are served by this group. And so they'll be coming in, and it's the sophomores, because that's typically when you start driving, who they will be keying in on and giving the lesson to them. And elementary, our fast bridge testing has been done, and then high school will utilize the reading component for grades 6 through 8. And then for the other students in high school, who might be targeted for the MTSS, will also be able to utilize it with them. And we do have one English language learner, and Leah Ochard has agreed to be my ELL teacher, and so she is connected and doing some trainings that she needs. And this year with our title, Leah, her focus is the reading, and then Amber Zemke as a para is going to help be our math support for our elementary students. And then, if you noticed when you were coming in, the window clings, they're a work in progress on my windows, and that was, so my windows outside there are first once we get those down, because you want to be able to see out and not to be able to see in. So when we look at a safety issue throughout the school. And also the office windows by Tracy will get covered, and then as we can move down the hall, the doors on the teachers' classrooms, to look at covering those too. And last year we received a donation from A&I, and their comment was once we get those done to let them know, we'd have a better idea of the cost to get all of them done. It was a $2,500 donation they gave us last year, so that is what is paying for those.
So, like when I've been to a lot of other schools, when you walk up to the exterior doors, they have them, is that something we would be looking at as well?
Yes. For those, because they'd have way more wear and tear than the interior ones. So it's sandpaper design we're working with. And for those, Katie had already priced it up, but we will need a separate donation for those, because it's probably going to be at least $3,000 to do our front doors. But that is definitely something we would like to see happen. One thing with our noon hour, because one of our classes did not have any kids enrolled in it, so that became a study hall for one of the teachers, so that has allowed me to keep Mrs. Crandall in the library during noon hour, and we've had an average, like from the beginning of the year now, 58 students using that. So it has, and it is go in because you want a quiet place, whether you want to just study or you want to read. So it is nice for the students to have that spot during noon hour, because if you've ever been in the building, you know that it's a little noisy during that time. And then the paras I have supervising, we're also able to have the gym open for the high school kids. So a few different places that they can go. And then para, it is Kyla Strife who will be bringing for recommendation, and she will start September 30th in the preschool to replace Chris, who has taken on, like Jeff said, the assignment with Northland Counseling. And I think that is all I have. Do you have any questions for me?
Thanks for the letter. First time that I think we've ever seen it coming from the student side, which we appreciate.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
And then also, you don't have to, well, who's involved? You keep saying there, and I wasn't paying attention because I was reading the letter. When you're doing the week, the full week and all the planning on the homecoming, who are you talking student council? Is that who helps you? with
Yes,
that?
so
Juniors or everybody?
kind of by default, I'm the student council advisor this year. So that is why I'm here working with the kids. But yes, we are talking, we have, on student council, there's 4 seniors, 4 juniors, and then 2 from each other grade representing. So it is their planning. And I will say our preliminary planning was 2 weeks ago with grades 10, 11, 12. And then this week and last week, we included everybody in that planning. When I say everybody, I mean all the reps.
Good for them. And then lastly, you're 3 weeks into it. How's the no phones thing going in terms of,
I think it's going wonderful. It is great seeing the kids interacting with each other. We've had a few cell phone violations, but quite frankly, it's been far fewer than I thought it would be, and it's been very matter of fact. I mean, it's like, even before that policy came into place, as I'll call it strict as it is. I mean, if a kid was violating it, you'd hold it to your hand, give me your phone, and you don't make a big deal of it. It isn't a big deal, and you get to pick it up at the end of the day. So far, nobody's gone to violation 2 with it.
good.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay.
I think that covers everything, doesn't it?
I'm glad you asked that because I've kind of forgotten about it, to be honest, because I haven't really heard any comments.
Right, no news is good news on that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
there's been no pushback, really.
Do you notice a lot more phone calls in the office from parents as far as trying to schedule and stuff, or is it? I mean, maybe you don't notice, but
Well, I'm gonna say no, because the reality is parents would still need to come, even if they're getting a hold of their kid and giving them messages, they still would have needed to get a hold of Tracy to say they're gonna be leaving at this time for an appointment, and she'd write them a pass, so.
sure.
Well, and I mean,
Just less disruptive to the
my
student's day.
experience when I needed to contact Tracy, I almost always sent her an email. I don't know, because then, I just gave her enough time.
Well, and I know.
I feel like that's less
I
disruptive.
know Tracy having the school cell phone has been wonderful, because so often parents will text her also rather than
Oh,
call.
sure.
And I'm gonna guess it's a time saver for them, and it's
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah.
I do have one item here for you. When you schedule something for a Sunday, would you send a use request form to the custodians? Because somebody's gonna be here for that. That's usually my job, being the weekend custodian.
Yeah, so I don't know where in the process it is, but they know they need to do a facility use form.
Oh, okay.
So yes,
I know, we didn't have one down there. What I'm doing with the facility uses, we get a whole lot of forms, they get all stuck up on a bulletin board, and it's really difficult to read each one. So what I've done is I've made a spreadsheet.
Okay.
And it's all on one sheet on our bulletin board. What's gonna happen, who's gonna be responsible for it, if there's a custodian involved, that's it, so. And, we could put you on a mailing list for one or something like that. It's something like that, but if you just send in a use form, that we have it.
Yep, it's on our list, they meet tomorrow, so.
Oh, okay.
Anybody got anything else? Okay, then I guess we'll, got 3 minutes. We have a 3-minute break until the regular meeting. Wow, this hasn't happened in a long time.
We got the working session done in under an hour.
Yeah.
Turning those off. Robin, how's your dad doing? allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This all set to go? Crib sheet? Or is there something? Okay.
I ran out of time.
Oh, you got that too.
All right, I need a motion and a second to approve the September 23rd, 2024 meeting agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Sonstagard,
Second by Lyon.
second by Lyon. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. County Board presenters, written communications. We have review and comment statement from the MDE Commissioner. Discussion of Commissioner's review and comment on proposed projects. I'll let you do that.
Okay. So the district did receive a positive review from the commissioner. When we submitted this,
Is your mic on?
this was prior to the survey. So when we submitted for review and comment, it was for the full $5 million figure. So when you look at the project cost estimates, there's some of those, like the football field, turf upgrades, and the track repair, were included and approved, but the board has already moved forward with not including those projects in the actual ballot question. I guess that summarizes it. Most of it is on the roof resurfacing, window replacement, the envelope of the building, the tuck pointing, some traffic flow improvements, and some sidewalk repairs is primarily what the $4 million bond referendum is for.
Okay. There's nothing to do with that, so we'll move on to old business. No old business, so we'll go on to new business. Need a motion and a second to approve the August 26, 2024 school board meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Trask,
Second by Lyon.
second by Lyon. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I need a motion and a second to approve the invoices, financial statements, bank reconciliation, wire transfers, and purchase card statement.
Motion by Lyon.
Motion by Lyon,
Second.
second by Sonstagard. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign.
Aye. No, I'm sorry, I didn't say aye in the first. I was late.
We'll read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
This was unanimous.
Can I just interrupt? Were there any, we forgot to ask, are there any questions regarding the review and comment from the commissioner, from the board, or anyone in the public?
The only question I would have had was, we're subtracting, like you pointed out, and that was my original question. We can subtract, we just can't add. We couldn't.
You can't go more than.
Right. So, taking two projects out, taking $1 million out, and taking a referendum on the ballot out, that third potential ballot that was in the letter, taking that out, that doesn't change their opinion at all, since we're changing it.
No.
Okay.
The way I took it.
Okay.
Approval of personnel appointments. Any motion and a second to approve the resignation, retirements, and appointments as presented. Resignations. Chris, help me on one last name.
Berthium.
That one. Paraprofessional appointments. Jalen Rashke, junior high football. Kayla Johnson, C-Team Volleyball, Nyla O'Connell, Special Education Teacher, TJ Frericks, Assistant Athletic Director, Chris Berthew. Berthew, did I get that right? Okay, paraprofessional. Pay increase, Julie Newmiller, pool attendant. Need a motion and a second for all of that.
We'll make a motion.
Motion by Sonstgaard,
Second by Lyon.
second by Lyon. Any discussion?
The pay increase we didn't discuss, but that was part of the board packet.
Yep.
Yeah, it's,
Is there any questions?
go from $10 to $12.50.
Yeah, it's like was it a 300, I don't remember the amount, like a $300 annual.
$350, I think.
$345
Yeah.
budget increase.
And secondly, when we approved Nyla O'Connell, thank you for doing that, is that sort of like an at-will agreement that we've got going, where if we get a qualified person, because I think that's how it was worded in the board packet as well, like if we had somebody apply on the 2nd of January, would we hire that person? Or is this for the year?
Yes, please do.
That was the conversation Mrs. O'Connell and I had, so we will continue to actively search and advertise, so at any time if we get a qualified candidate that we bring to her recommendation, then yes, Mrs. O'Connell will be done.
Okay, so she's aware of the situation.
Or is she happy with that? Okay, so she's happy if we find someone.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, exactly, she is.
And we are actively looking right now. I mean, right now we have ads out and we're looking, okay.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Need a motion and a second to approve the school management services contract.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Sonstgaard,
Second by Lyon.
second by Lyon. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Need a motion and a second to approve the engagement proposal from Kraus Anderson.
Motion by Lyon.
Motion by Lyon,
I'll second.
second by Trask. Discussion?
Yes, again, I know we've had this, can we just again nod our heads and all say, okay, so no money is changing hands till we see what happens in terms of our,
It'd have to be a successful passing of the referendum.
and they're aware of that.
Yep.
So we're signing a contract that what happens when, if it doesn't pass, it's just that contract becomes null and void. Okay. And I guess that was really my only question about that. But the efforts they're putting in now are all are being made because they understand that they are going to be engaged with this contract.
Correct.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Any other? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I need a motion and a second to approve resolution 2024/2025-18, appointment of District 6 School Board member.
Motion by Lyon.
Motion by Lyon,
Second.
second by Trask. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying
Hang on
aye.
just a second.
Yep.
So,
We should probably say who that person is.
You didn't have it in here. I'm just
So-
reading off the thing, so.
Would you like me to,
We can.
would you like me to read the resolution?
If you want.
Because that's where it's stated.
Okay.
It says, whereas Jeremiah Hack meets qualifications to serve District 6 on the school board as established by Minnesota law, therefore be it resolved by the school board of Independent School District number 390. The appointment is effective until an election is held. Fill the vacancy. The person elected to fill a vacancy at the general election takes office immediately and will serve until a special election can be held on or prior to November 4th, 2025. This appointment shall be effective October 28th after the appointee takes the oath of office. This resolution is adopted on the 23rd day of September 2024.
Okay.
so again, so the public's clear on that. We're approving Jerem's move into the board for this fall, but there is an election next November.
Yep.
And if we want names in the hat, they similarly would have to apply by the August deadline, whenever that might be.
The board will be able to establish when you want to do a special election. You do not have to wait till next November. I believe there's 5 dates that you could do a special election on.
We could have it done in August, couldn't we?
You could do it in August.
That's the soonest though, isn't it? Or-
I think there's a date in April maybe, or May possibly.
And we might wait to see how our
Yeah.
referendum and our
Yeah.
levy come out,
So,
and then
yeah.
create a strategy
Yeah.
from there.
But the appointment cannot go beyond the November 4th election.
And I would also like to comment that we did, and you commented earlier, it was nice to have multiple people step forward and try to, or want to serve on this. So pretty good. I appreciate the input on that. And I know during the upcoming election, we've got multiple people, new people, looking for board placement as well. So that's how the board works. That's a good deal. Thank you, Gerald.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Boyd's momentum there was because he was afraid you were going to give him that pass.
Gotta get them on.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
I made motion, Corinne seconded,
Yep.
and we all unanimous.
I need a motion and a second to approve resolution 2024/2025-17, accepting a donation of $200 from the American Legion Auxiliary for the Calming Corners.
Motion by Lyon.
Motion by Lyon,
I'll second.
second by Sonstegard. Any discussion? Calming Corners is fairly well funded, isn't it?
I guess.
At least it seems to be with
Yeah.
the donations
Yep.
we've been getting.
I think there are people actively going out there and saying we could use, like Joyce was going out, or Miss Speckle.
Has been wonderful,
Yeah.
and we've received enough funding now that we can expand it to the high school.
Okay.
Good deal.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Got to make it sound good
Nope,
for the
sorry,
the
it
thing.
wasn't loud
So,
enough.
all
Aye.
in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. One no. Aye.
Need some enthusiasm.
Motion, I need a motion and a second to approve resolution 2024/2025-19, certifying proposed tax levy for 2024 payable 2025. Is there more to add to that?
I would just add, at the maximum as presented.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
The maximum as presented. And Trask with the motion, Sonsgaard with the second. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Need a motion and a second to approve the price change for a single milk.
I'll make a motion.
Second by Lyon.
Motion by Sonsgaard, second by Lyon. And it's a 10-cent increase.
5 cent,
5 cent
35 to
increase?
40 cents.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Need a motion and a second to approve the memorandum of understanding between Lake of the Woods School and Northwest Community Action concerning the invoicing of adult meals and snack milk for Head Start.
Motion by Lyon.
Motion by Lyon,
I'll second.
second by Trask. Any discussion?
Just a brief explanation, because I sort of glossed over that, and I'm not sure what you're getting at there, but why you have a memorandum of understanding as opposed to just inaction on the prices?
It has to do with how we do our reimbursable meals and stuff. So they pay the district for meals for staff and their students that do not qualify for the free meals. So did that
So we
answer
want
your
to
question?
recoup our 40 cents from them, essentially. Or that price, right? Or
Yes,
that they-
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I took it too, that's also up like, I assume a parent or somebody wanted to eat lunch too, because they had the adult price.
Yep.
And stuff in there, okay.
And they'd be people who didn't qualify for the Head Start parameters or the Head Start cutoff, so, I mean, anybody who could go in and get,
Yes, if, like, when the veterans come and eat lunch, they would get the adult meal prices, although sometimes we come up with funds to cover that.
okay.
If I want to go eat lunch, I would pay the adult meal price, and so.
Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anybody got anything else? Then we will adjourn at 7:16.